So again, welcome today to the Contractors Breakfast. This program is a virtual program and sometimes in person when we're not in, lovely COVID times. And this is just to give you guys a good overview of the benefits of your membership or pending membership. And it's not just the same old stuff that you usually would hear about, of course, the events, of course, this. We're going to dive a little bit deeper today into especially our workforce solutions and advocacy that we do. So you'll hear from three member experts that will give you lots of information. I'll chime in as needed. I will be watching the chat feature. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please let us know. And I'll also be sharing some links in the chat. So make sure you're paying attention to chat. For those of you who don't know me, I am Erica Schwegman, and I'm the Associate Director of Membership and Operations for ACI. I've been with ACI for about 8.5 years or so, and I've held many hats at ACI and I've loved every moment of it and the growth that our members have seen, that our team has seen, and the overall industry has seen. So with that, I'd like to share just a little bit of basic information about ACI, where we came from, how we were founded. First and foremost is our mission and our focus. And our mission is to grow the Cincinnati region's commercial construction industry. We focus on delivering workforce solutions, which you'll hear more about, that will solve talent challenges. We engage in industry advocacy that will remove obstacles and creates a climate of growth. And we provide ample networking opportunities where you guys can make meaningful connections. All right, we are set up like an umbrella association, which Joe Seymour from Schaefer will talk about in a little bit. But we do have a board of directors. We have 16 folks on our board of directors. All of them you can see listed here. And a few years ago, we added a young professional representative, which is Jeff Ryan from Terex. And so you can contact any of these board of directors or anyone on staff to learn more about your membership or to ask questions. We all have an open door policy and would love to hear from you. And that's a common theme that you're going to hear throughout today. We want to hear from you. So staff, you'll see that we've got Jordan Vogel, who is our executive director, who joined us last November and has done a great job since then. Of course, me. And then we also have Anthony Ricciardi, who's the associate director of workforce solutions. All of our faces, all of our headshots with contact information are on our website, so you can contact us at any time. Susan Berman, our safety program manager for anything safety related you need. Jen Galt, our education program manager. She and Susan are working on a great program that we'll talk about later. And Dan Wright, who's our plan year manager. So all of your project lead needs. And you'll see a familiar face on the call with us today and on here. This is Carol Rindall, who's our manager of strategic communications and marketing. Today is Carol's third day on the job. So welcome, Carol. We're so glad to have you here.
Yeah.
And then Christy Farrow, who has left us to be in Florida this week, but she is our regional apprenticeship coordinator for CAP. And then Kelsey Croder, plan room and office operations coordinator, and Lydia Burns, who's our programs manager for CCAP, which you'll learn more about today. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to the Joe Seymour from Schaefer, who is also on our membership committee. So Joe, have at it, my friend.
All right, thanks, Erica. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with everybody today. I guess before I get started, I have to say that all my encounters with Erica, she always has a really positive attitude. She's always willing to help with whatever is needed. She's definitely a huge asset to ACI. So thanks, Erica. Little bit about me. I'm currently a project manager with Schaefer. For anyone who doesn't know us, we're a structural design firm headquartered here in Cincinnati, but we also have offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Phoenix, Arizona. And while we do work nationally with a lot of our clients, our roots are here in Cincinnati, and we are very passionate about the local construction industry. As part of that, we've been a member organization of ACI for many years. Personally, I started getting involved with ACI several years ago by attending some of the young professional events. As Erica mentioned, I've been sitting on the membership committee here for about the past year or so. It's been a great experience so far. So for anybody that's new or prospective members, or maybe if you just weren't familiar in general, this is just a little bit of information about the history of ACI, kind of where it came from, what it is, and who makes up the membership. So as you can see, ACI has been around for a long time, a little over 90 years now. And it was originally a combination of 3 existing organizations: the Builders Exchange of Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati chapter of Associated General Contractors, and the Hamilton County Building Materials Credit Association. And, I think what happened at that time is those organizations decided that they could pool their individual resources and experience and put something together that would help provide a better future for the construction industry. They took a look at what services companies needed and how they could work together to provide those services and help each other succeed. And that's really kind of what ACI has become. ACI is set up as an umbrella organization. So I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, but there are 8 organizations that basically reside underneath the overall umbrella of ACI. And then who are the members? The members are really made up of companies and organizations throughout all aspects of the construction industry. It encompasses both union and non-union, general contractors, construction managers, subcontractors, service providers, including design professionals like Schaefer and suppliers. And there's truly something there for everybody that's willing to be a member and take advantage of the organization.
That's the company that my stepdad started.
Go to the next slide, Erica.
I think someone is not on mute. I mean, do you know maybe?
He was, not.
Yeah, I'm trying to mute all real quickly. Okay. But yeah, if you guys are not muted, please make sure you mute yourself real quickly. What? All right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, Joe.
No problem. No, you'd think after a year and a half of virtual events, we'd be getting
2013 and 2015.
So as I mentioned, ACI is an umbrella organization. This is a list of the organizations that are within the umbrella of ACI. You can see, that it covers a lot of specialty trades and subcontractors. Roofing, masons, millwright, steel erectors, fabricators and riggers, walls and ceilings, tile, marble, terrazzo, as well as some other organizations. And it's worth pointing out that for the trade specific organizations, ACI does help with some labor negotiations. And while they're not directly on one side or the other, they kind of act as a resource and a facilitator for those negotiations for those organizations. So why do people join? There's a lot of services that we're going to expand on a little bit more as we go, but what you see on your screen are really some of the top reasons why companies get involved and stick around. Traditionally, networking really is the #1 reason. ACI offers a number of annual events throughout the year. There's committee participation and training, and really all of those are just opportunities to make connections with other people, within the industry, with other companies, and build your network. So we find year after year that networking is really the #1 reason why people get involved. And closely behind that, we'll talk a little bit more about this too, but we have a newly developed construction career center, which encompasses workforce solutions, education and training, as well as mentorship. I think it's safe to say, I'm sure on the contractor side, the design side, and many others, I think we've felt the impacts of the skilled labor shortages over the past couple of years. And I think the Construction Career Center and everything that it includes provides some of the services that are crucial to help fill that pipeline and build that workforce back up for the future. There's opportunities for K through 12 education, apprenticeships, all the way through professional leadership. And I think having our foot in the door at the K through 12 level is really important. We need to make sure that younger people know about the opportunities that are out there in the construction industry, and that we also provide the resources for them to get where they want to be. Another top reason is the construction connection, which includes the plan room, which really provides project opportunities, project information, direct leads on projects, and it helps to connect general contractors and subcontractors on project opportunities. And finally, advocacy. ACI is really there to make sure that there's a voice for its members and for the construction industry, and also to promote careers in construction. So I talked a little bit about this, committee participation. There are a number of different committees on ACI that really kind of make everything work in the background. You can see the list here: advocacy, entertainment, insurance and finance, marketing, communication, membership, safety, scholarship, workforce solutions, and young professionals. And for those that are new, or maybe that have been around a while and attended a couple events, I'd really encourage you to get involved on a committee. Find an area that you're interested in or that aligns with your role and your organization, and get involved. It's open for everybody. As a committee member, you have a direct impact on the future of the industry, and you have an opportunity to help ACI achieve their goals. As part of the membership committee, I get to speak directly with current and prospective members. I get to find out what they need, what they're looking for, what's working, what's not working, and it kind of helps get an overall pulse for the organization, which I find very informative. So what are my best practices and advice? I've kind of touched on a lot of these things already. Number one is just get involved. If you are a member, there's plenty of opportunities out there, and take advantage of them. I mentioned I first got involved attending some young professional events several years ago, project tours, speaker events, happy hours. I found all those really interesting, made a couple connections, and really got to learn more about ACI. And then most recently in the past year, I've attended the Reds outing, the annual meeting, there's a golf outing, there's several other opportunities to get out there and get involved and network. And it's really just a great opportunity, again, to connect with peers in your industry that you may know or you may not know, but it's outside of the day-to-day project work. And you can also, like I said, build your network and help lay the groundwork for future opportunities. And then again, once you're involved, once you kind of got your foot in the door, get involved on a committee, find an area that you're interested in. You are going to spend some time, there's monthly meetings, there's tasks to do. So find something that you're passionate about, that you want to spend time with, and then show up and participate, get to know your fellow committee members. Like I said, committee work helps strengthen and improve opportunities that ACI can provide, but it also has a direct benefit on you as an individual and your own career growth. So really just encourage everyone to make the most of your membership and take advantage of everything that ACI has to offer.
All right, thanks, Joe. I'm Charlie Holthouse. I am a former Young Professionals committee chair. I have sat on the board for a year as the YP representative on the board, and I'm currently an estimator. I'm involved in purchasing and account management at Holthouse Lacquer Signs. We're just a small family business here in Cincinnati. We manufacture, service, and install custom signs for different businesses, sports venues, hospitals, things like that. So just a quick little background on who I am and my involvement at ACI so far. Just to get into some of the member benefits, we've got the Construction Career Center, which has safety and education classes that cover anything that your company needs to be successful, from safety, HR, training, leadership development, the AGC national programming, NCCER curriculum, and certified mobile crane assessment center. just any sort of training that you feel as though you might need. We have industry advocacy, which Joe touched on a little bit, leadership development, events, project lead software. With regards to that, we have a physical plan room at the Lockland office, equipped with large screens for easy read of plans, engineer plotters, and huddle space for your teams to meet. The online plan room software, ACI has really been working on that heavily for the last few years. The Construction Connection is also ran and owned 100% by ACI. With over 100 jobs per day in the public and private sector, ACI has something for every commercial contractor. The plan room covers a 100-mile radius around Cincinnati. Jobs can be narrowed down region by region and type of companies. So you're getting what you want in the areas that you want. You can filter your results real easily. This is actually an additional subscription on top of membership dues, but members get a 30-day free trial when they join. There's also cost savings programs as one of the big membership benefits. As far as networking goes, there are just tons of events throughout the year that I've been a part of, that a lot of members have been a part of. And this is really, really where you find your benefit of being an ACI. ACI offers a number of networking events throughout the year with anywhere from 200 to 750 attendees. Joe touched on the Reds outing, golf outing, clay shoot, which is coming up actually in about a month. It's one of my personal favorites because it's a good opportunity to get out, shoot some stuff out of the air, and then just spend some time with some of the other people in our industry. And then also there's the annual meeting, which this year we had one a few weeks ago, which was very successful. It was the first in-person one since COVID. And then we've got another one coming up, I believe in March of 2022, which hopefully again will be in person, but was a very successful event a few weeks ago. I think everybody was very excited to get out, see some faces again in person, and just have a drink and just catch up with everybody in the industry. We also have CEO networking events, which greatly benefit architects, engineers, and contractors. Those are really, really helpful in terms of getting the contractors and the people who are doing a lot of the day-to-day work in contact with CEOs or any C-suite level employees, that just to kind of get better understanding of the industry, what's happening right now, and where they see it going. So just a couple companies that we can highlight as far as cost savings. Sedgwick provides up to 53% on your 53% savings on your TPA services throughout the ACI group program. 3Hab is ACI's go-to company for all MCO needs. If you're looking for a new IT company, Augustine Services, both ACI and a number of ACI member companies. Beeline provides up to 25% savings on all personal protective equipment. And Warsaw Federal works with ACI customers to get great rates for refinances and home loans. ACI members are given $500 towards closing costs and $100 in their bank when writing a loan from Warsaw Federal. Just a couple examples of some cost savings programs that directly benefit members and member individuals. So for publications and extra services, I touched a little bit on this earlier, but the Constructor is our quarterly e-magazine. All members are welcome to submit industry-specific articles. It's posted on the ACI website as well as sent out through email. All members are welcome to advertise. Bi-weekly, there's an e-newsletter, The Advantage, that's sent to all members. Provides information about all the upcoming classes and events in addition to what's going on in the industry. There's a printed directory that was just sent out to all the member companies. The marketing department is always updating ACI social media. It's a great way to stay in touch with the community and association. You can follow and subscribe like ACI on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you're in need of a room to host a socially distanced event, or socially distanced meeting, ACI can help with that. They've got plenty of space at their Laughlin location. Community involvement. They're very involved with a number of organizations like People Working Cooperatively, the American Heart Association, and the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, just to name a couple of them. And as far as best practices and advice from me, like Joe had mentioned, come to the events, get involved in a committee. That's really the way. I mean, we were members of ACI for a year or two before we really had anyone in our organization involved with ACI. And up until that point, we weren't seeing exactly what we wanted from ACI. But as soon as we started coming to the events more often and getting involved on committees, we immediately saw great returns, both professional and personal returns. It gives you an opportunity to become the person who is like, I know a guy that could be, that's really me. I mean, like when people hear of signs, any of the organization or the committees that I've sat on, I get referrals all the time. So networking is really, really a huge benefit. And when you start getting involved, coming to the events, you become that person, that representative for your company, and you can offer that benefit to other member companies within ACI, which is really, really nice. You'll just be able to build more rapport and have a much better understanding of the industry. So I thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday to all. Thanks for being up bright and early on video call. So I'm Erin Weiscutt, Business Development, Marketing, and Long-Term Strategy for Jostens Construction. We're a mid-sized general contractor in the region. For those of us who do know us, notice I did not say concrete subcontractor. We are actually. For 23 years, we are a large-scale specialty subcontractor focused on pump place finish concrete. So we pour a whole lot of floors, all of those in the brand new children's hospital critical care building, all of the floors over at, that TQL West End soccer stadium. But my focus is to make sure the word is out that Jostens is actually a mid-sized general contractor, commercial contractor. So with that, we're a 23-year-old minority-owned firm growing. And so what ACI has tasked me with is to talk about kind of the heart of our industry, which is twofold. One, more than ever, just what is our, as an industry point of view on policies and legislation that impact how our industry works, and what our impact is on economic development for the city, for the region, et cetera. And then also workforce. Without workforce, we do not have a business. So those are the two items I am covering today. So Erica, I think you're in charge. Yeah. So like, and go. So full disclosure, I've only been in construction for about 3+ years. I'm a recovering marketing consultant. But what that has afforded me is just to kind of come in with fresh eyes as to the struggle that every industry is up against. We are not special as the construction industry, and that we are searching for talent and a pipeline for the future of our industry. We're not special. We're all trying to figure it out, whether it's tech or manufacturing. We are all trying to find people. Word on the street is that if we're talking about adults, that we all would prefer to kind of train up fresh. So if you have no experience or entry level, it's best to kind of train the Jostens way, or train. There's an engineering firm. They do all of the kind of field testing and whatnot. They'd rather just train, their way of doing things. But where that's with adults, where it starts is with the kiddos. We can all talk about the shift towards college being the only and ultimate goal. Culturally, what ACI is doing is trying to shift that mindset towards trades, that trades are just so valuable and such a viable career. And the way we start to shift the mindset to be broader than it's only college, is we get to the kiddos. If you haven't met Lydia, she is a force to be reckoned with, and she really leads the charge on connecting the dots ultimately. So from K through 12 programs to how we are interacting with students who are already, at NKU or Cincinnati State or UC, she's really driving kind of that thread across all individuals who might not be suited for your traditional 4-year degree or master's degree type work for the long haul. So ACI just continues to grow their influence across, where we find students, younger students, K through 12, on the way up to, engaging with higher education programs to ultimately get money into the hands of students who we really want to funnel into anywhere from somebody like Schaefer to construction manager at Jostin or Turner, Messer, et cetera. So ACI has a very robust plan that they're driving, and it's on all of us to support that work. So if you want to go to the next slide. So what that looks like is programming, and it is broad. So from project-based learning that was just mentioned on the previous slide in the schools with schools, to apprentice and pre-apprenticeship programs. Again, we all cannot find enough folks, and then you even split it into more specifics. Carpenters, as we know, are definitely different than masons, definitely different from a roofer. So, it's so helpful that ACI is in this to help identify individuals and bring them into the trades and kind of get them matched up with something that could be a very long time viable career. And then for experienced professionals, ongoing continuing education, which is typical for any industry. So you can see the programming that ACI is leading there and making available to all of us, because as we all know, we must all continue learning no matter how experienced we are in our career. So, whether it's someone just entering the field in your company or someone who, you have a professional development plan for your middle management team, ACI is an incredible resource to tap into to kind of find what that right next educational experience can and should be for your employees. Advocacy, I mentioned that first. I think it's, in my experience, only of 3 years, it does seem to becoming much more to the forefront under Jordan's leadership with the incredible ACI team. We're in another election cycle, in particular in the city of Cincinnati. And what I will admit, I am just beginning to immerse myself in, okay, well, what does it mean? What does this mayoral race mean to our industry that will occur in 2022? And lucky for us, ACI is all over it with an actual a committee that is focused on advocacy for our industry at the city level as well as the regional level. Because who does become mayor? Because we are, as I understand it, anecdotally, the mayor has a whole lot of influence and power. And so it matters who will win that mayoral race. And we all have to understand the implications for us as contractors as that takes place. So ACI is leading the charge and kind of helping us drive to get a seat at the table so that we have influence over legislation and policy. And in particular, we have an event October 14th. Please mark your calendars. Please make sure that internally you all have a moment with your leadership team and talk about where is your point of view on how we think about legislation and policy? And then come to this event, October 14th, I believe it's 4 to 6 at Frost Brown Todd downtown. 2 of the mayoral candidates will be available for questions. And even before that, Erica, I can't recall if it's been published, the ACI committee and team sent questionnaires. They were pretty hard hitting, which is fantastic, to the city council members. If you don't know, city council's been pretty interesting for the last couple of years. So Erica can probably send the questionnaire to all of you, and to some of the council members that answered the questions. She can publish that to all of us. It's so critical. They influence development. They influence how funding is directed for very large projects for us as contractors. So it matters that we understand how things are working. So please mark your calendar, October 14th, 4 to 6. You'll have access to the mayoral candidates. And I have no doubt that Jordan and the committee, the ACI committee, will continue to drive our presence and influence on what is happening, and share that back with us so that we can, as companies, kind of decide how we can drive the most positive impact on the region and for our individual companies on behalf of the industry. Something that I think is a little newer, which is fantastic, just about the seat at the table, is as marketers, we all know that having your face out there and having your voice literally and figuratively heard is everything. So you can see Jordan's getting out and doing a really nice job on PR for us and what we're about as an industry, and that will only continue. So, we can say this is big stuff. It's one thing to stay connected as an industry. It's another thing to take it next level. When it comes to workforce and advocacy, just to recap what ACI is doing for us, they convene resources and connect the dots, essentially. So for us as members and leaders in our respective companies and in the industry, what's on us is 2 things. Just as you are aware on job sites, safety is everything, be aware of your surroundings. So when it comes to politics and when it comes to policy and legislation, do your homework and understand what is happening around us, because it can and does impact how work flows. So first, advocacy number 2 is be aware of your surroundings, be educated. Please start with ACI and understand what they know. And then I would encourage you as company leaders to really talk internally about where you stand as a company and what you can do about influencing policy and legislation. When it comes to workforce, my challenge for all of you is to be future forward thinking. It is one thing to go, holy crap, I do not have the 5 people, the 5 project managers, the 5 laborers, the 6 carpenters for the next 6 months. That is real. But what we have to do is challenge ourselves to think about the industry 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now. And so I would challenge you all, no matter what level you are in your company, to go back to your company and ask if you are having those conversations. Because if we do not imagine the future of the industry, we're going to just continue kind of band-aiding the situation right now. And so if you do that internally, because we each have a different craft, a different culture, different role in the ecosystem of our industry, once you've done that, bring it back to ACI, because they bring us all together and help connect the dots. Having spent some time in the nonprofit sector, redundancy is our enemy. So if there are other people with great programs, let's just support those and maximize the impact of that workforce development program. And ACI is that resource that can kind of have eyes above everything. But it starts with each of us to really understand where we are now and where we might be in the future, so that we can all continue to work on out-of-the-box solutions, because we haven't figured it out yet. We haven't magically created a brand new workforce where we're all just like got people knocking down our doors. So I just encourage you, be future forward, think beyond today, 1, 5, and 10 years, and then bring that back to ACI so that we can kind of continue to really work at this workforce gap that we have as an industry. And that is all.
Before we wrap up today, there are just a couple of things that I wanted to share real quickly. We definitely encourage you guys to check out the ACI website. If you were following in chat, you saw that I shared a ton of links. Every single one of those came from the website. This is the main page. You can get to all of our social media up here, which is updated quite often, learning more about ACI here, and then all of the events that we've been talking about, the leadership awards, the Construction Career Awards Luncheon, the City Council weighing in. Here are the questions, here are the answers right here. Any events that we have coming up. And then of course, across the board, you've got your staff contacts, the committee information, benefits of membership, to become a member if you guys are considering membership, Construction Career Center with all of the breakouts of what comes with that, advocacy, media events, so on and so forth. So we are definitely here for the entire industry. It doesn't matter, architect, engineer, contractor, subcontractor, vendor, open shop union, it doesn't matter. We are here for the entire industry as a whole. And a couple of just reminders from the team. Number one, we did just kind of wrap up our Skilled Trade Awards fundraising, which was our event called Say Yes to the Mess. You guys can learn more about that from the main page of the website. But we just kicked off our scholarship campaign, so supporting our collegiate students. And you can contact Anthony Ricciardi about that. You can make a pledge today. And 100% of those proceeds do go back to the students in local universities studying construction. And Anthony is on with us today, so please make sure you contact him. I will absolutely send out the link for the City Council questionnaire. Again, it is on the front page, and I will send it in a follow-up. The mayoral event is on October 14th. More information will be coming out about that next week, so continue watching the ACI website. And then last but not least, this Friday, nominations, allergies, I'm so sorry. Nominations close this Friday for the Construction Career Awards Luncheon. And this is where you, our members or pending members, can nominate companies or individuals for different awards, such as safety for a company, it's safety excellence, construction career advancement, and diversity and equity and inclusion. And then individuals awards are for safety visionary, outstanding educator, she builds, and rising star. So nominations for that close on Friday. So please get those in. Again, all of that can be found on the front page of the website. That most top hard-hitting stuff is on the front page of the website. And then that event will be on November 2nd at the Glendale Lyceum. So a lot of really exciting things coming up. But again, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Charlie. And thank you, Aaron. We sincerely appreciate your guys' time today, your expertise and your knowledge on ACI. We could not be the association we are today without amazing members like you taking time to do things like this. So again, to all of our current members on here, please get involved, contact us, tell us your story, tell us your pain points, and look into the classes and things that we can help you and your team with. And then for those that are looking at membership, I'll send out the application again. We would love to have you as a member, and we would love to have your support for the industry as a whole.